Listen English. Lena always found English incredibly challenging, especially when it came to listening and speaking fluently. Her daily life often felt like an uphill battle, trying to comprehend casual conversations or express her thoughts clearly. This constant struggle often left her feeling isolated and frustrated, yearning for a breakthrough in her language learning journey. Everyday scenarios became a source of immense anxiety. Ordering coffee, navigating public transport, or simply following a news report in English seemed like insurmountable obstacles. The rapid flow of native speech often rendered her completely lost, despite years of formal grammar study. Her confidence plummeted with each confusing encounter. She frequently felt like an outsider, missing out on jokes, discussions, and vital information because of the language barrier. This sense of exclusion was profoundly disheartening. Lena yearned to participate fully, to connect authentically with English speakers, and to finally break free from her self-imposed linguistic prison. One dreary evening, after another particularly frustrating day, Lena made a firm decision. She could no longer simply wish for improvement, she needed an active plan. This moment was a pivotal turning point, marking the beginning of her deliberate and systematic approach to conquering the English language. This was truly my daily day's struggle, a personal battle fought every single morning. Each new day presented fresh opportunities for practice but also potential for continued frustration. Lena understood that only sustained effort and a strategic mindset would eventually lead her toward the fluency she desperately craved. Initially, Lena believed that solely increasing her exposure to English sounds would solve everything. She thought listening to endless hours of audio content was the ultimate key. Therefore, her first step was simply to immerse herself in English, hoping osmosis would magically work its wonders. So, she dutifully started listening to everything she could find: English music, news broadcasts, and popular podcasts. Her headphones became a constant companion, filling her ears with a torrent of unfamiliar sounds and rapid-fire speech. She hoped sheer volume would lead to understanding. However, pure, passive listening quickly proved insufficient for genuine comprehension. Words blurred into indistinct noises, and sentences remained fragmented mysteries. Lena realized that merely hearing English was vastly different from truly processing and understanding its complex nuances. She needed a more active approach. A chance conversation with a multilingual friend shed new light on her predicament. Her friend emphasized why reading is so important, suggesting it was the missing piece in Lena's learning puzzle. This advice seemed counterintuitive at first, but Lena was desperate for any effective strategy. Lena was initially skeptical about reading's direct impact on her listening and speaking skills. She had always associated reading with grammar rules and vocabulary lists, not fluid communication. But her friend insisted that reading deeply reinforced what listening introduced, creating a powerful synergy for learners. Her friend patiently explained that reading English extensively builds a robust vocabulary and solidifies grammatical structures naturally. It exposes learners to proper sentence construction and a vast array of expressions. This foundation, she argued, was indispensable for both understanding and producing language accurately. Moreover, reading connects sounds with their written forms, which is crucial for overall fluency and accurate pronunciation. Seeing words written down after hearing them helps to cement their meaning and usage in the mind. This visual-auditory link strengthens comprehension significantly. Reading also improved Lena's understanding of context, allowing her to infer meanings of unfamiliar words from surrounding text. This skill is vital for navigating real-world conversations where not every word will be clear. It enhanced her ability to grasp the overall message. This profound discovery about the power of reading was a genuine game-changer for Lena. It shifted her entire perspective on language acquisition. She understood that a multifaceted approach, integrating reading, was absolutely essential for breaking through her language plateau. Armed with this newfound insight, she decided to consciously combine reading with her ongoing listening practice. She sought out audiobooks alongside their physical copies, reading along as she listened. This simultaneous engagement promised a more comprehensive and effective learning experience. For how to improve your listening skills, Lena started employing more deliberate techniques. No longer just background noise, English audio became a subject of intense focus. She resolved to move beyond passive exposure to truly active and analytical listening. Active listening became her mantra. She would listen for specific keywords, try to identify the speaker's tone, and make predictions about what would come next. She began replaying difficult sections multiple times, dissecting sentences word by word until clarity emerged. She specifically listened to podcasts designed for English language learners, which often had slower speech and accompanying transcripts. These resources allowed her to follow along visually while training her ear to the rhythm and intonation of English speakers. Watching English movies with subtitles initially helped her bridge the gap between spoken and written words. She would pause frequently to look up unfamiliar phrases, connecting the visual context with the auditory input. This made the experience educational and enjoyable. Then, gradually, she challenged herself by removing the subtitles altogether for familiar films. This forced her brain to rely solely on auditory cues, significantly sharpening her listening comprehension over time. It was a true test of her progress. Her ears slowly but surely started recognizing more distinct sounds and individual words within the rapid flow of speech. The once blurry cascade of English sounds began to resolve into meaningful sentences. This improvement boosted her confidence immensely. Despite significant improvements in her listening and reading, speaking remained a major hurdle for Lena. The act of forming coherent English sentences on the spot felt incredibly daunting. Her mouth often felt frozen, unwilling to utter a single word. The pervasive fear of making mistakes, of sounding awkward or incorrect, frequently paralyzed her. She worried intensely about mispronunciations or grammatical errors, leading her to avoid speaking whenever possible. This self-consciousness was holding her back. Then, she stumbled upon an article advocating a revolutionary concept: start talking at home. The idea was to create a safe, judgment-free zone for speaking practice, away from the pressure of public performance. It sounded peculiar but intriguing. It seemed incredibly strange at first, talking to herself in her room or to inanimate objects. Lena felt a little self-conscious, even in solitude. However, the article stressed the importance of consistent, low-stakes practice to build muscle memory and fluency. Determined to overcome her speaking anxiety, she started narrating her daily activities aloud in English. "I am making coffee, the sun is shining, I need to water the plants," became her internal monologue turned external practice. Describing objects around her apartment, voicing her thoughts, and even having mock conversations with imaginary people became a regular ritual. Everything within her home became a prompt for English-speaking practice. It felt silly but surprisingly effective. Her sleepy cat, Mittens, became her silent, patient English conversation partner. Lena would explain her day to Mittens, describe her feelings, and even read stories aloud to the feline. Mittens, of course, offered no judgment, only a purr. This consistent, private practice built immense confidence in Lena's ability to articulate her thoughts in English. The freedom to make mistakes without embarrassment allowed her brain to experiment and solidify sentence structures. Her fluency gradually improved. It significantly reduced the pressure she felt when eventually engaging in public conversations. Having practiced countless phrases and expressions in solitude, she felt more prepared and less inhibited when facing real interactions. The fear began to recede. This comprehensive approach was uniquely Lena's Learn English journey. She customized her methods to fit her learning style and daily schedule. There was no one-size-fits-all solution, it was about discovering what truly resonated and produced results for her. Lena understood that consistency was absolutely key for her progress. Sporadic efforts yielded minimal results. Daily, even short, bursts of practice were far more effective than infrequent, long study sessions. Discipline became her guiding principle. No single method was a magic bullet for Lena's English acquisition. Relying solely on listening, reading, or speaking in isolation would have limited her growth. She needed to integrate all aspects for truly holistic language development and mastery. It truly became her personalized way of learning English, evolving as she progressed. She experimented with different apps, websites, and books, keeping what worked and discarding what didn't. This adaptability was crucial for sustained engagement. Combining these various techniques made her progress noticeable not just to herself but to others. Friends and colleagues commented on her improved fluency and confidence. These external affirmations further motivated her to continue her diligent efforts. She meticulously implemented listen and practice daily without fail. This involved active listening followed immediately by attempts to reproduce the sounds, words, and rhythms she heard. Repetition was a powerful tool in her arsenal. After listening to a segment of a podcast or a movie dialogue, she would immediately try to repeat the phrases aloud. This shadowing technique helped her mimic native pronunciation and intonation, improving her spoken fluency significantly. Shadowing native speakers helped her pronunciation immensely, making her speech sound more natural and less accented. It also trained her mouth and tongue muscles to produce English sounds correctly, a vital part of clear communication. She discovered that active engagement, not passive consumption, was paramount for success in language learning. Simply hearing or seeing English was not enough, she had to interact with it, produce it, and actively analyze it. This holistic and integrated approach to language learning answered the fundamental question of how to learn English for Lena. It wasn't about one secret tip but a blend of consistent, deliberate, and diverse practices. And then came a deeply enjoyable phase of her learning journey, English story reading. She embraced fiction as a powerful tool, realizing that narratives offered more than just vocabulary, they provided cultural context and immersive experiences. She started with simplified readers designed for language learners, gradually progressing to authentic short stories and novels. The joy of following a plot and connecting with characters kept her engaged and motivated, unlike dry textbooks. Reading stories made learning English genuinely enjoyable and incredibly immersive for her. Each page turned was a step deeper into a new world, fostering a natural curiosity for the language that transcended mere academic study. She found herself transported into different worlds through books, experiencing emotions and situations through English. This emotional connection to the language accelerated her understanding and retention of new words and phrases. The compelling characters and intricate plots kept her absolutely engaged, fostering a profound and lasting love for the English language itself. Learning stopped feeling like a chore and became an exciting adventure she looked forward to daily. Her vocabulary exploded with every new story she read. Words encountered in context were much easier to remember and apply than those learned in isolation from a list. Her mental dictionary expanded exponentially. Grammatical structures, once rigid rules, became intuitive through repeated exposure in natural story contexts. She began to instinctively use correct tenses and sentence patterns, no longer needing to consciously recall every grammatical guideline. The daily struggle that once defined Lena's English journey slowly but surely transformed into daily progress. Each successful conversation, each understood sentence, each completed story fueled her determination and proved her efforts worthwhile. She could now understand complex conversations with greater ease, clarity, and confidence. Casual banter, nuanced discussions, and even professional dialogues no longer felt intimidating or overwhelming. She was truly understanding. Her confidence soared dramatically, and she enthusiastically started engaging in more challenging discussions. The fear of speaking vanished, replaced by a genuine desire to communicate and connect with others in English. Public speaking, once her greatest dread, became less daunting and even exciting for her. She eagerly sought opportunities to share her thoughts, whether in group meetings or social gatherings. Her voice finally found its freedom. Lena realized that her persistent, multifaceted efforts had truly paid off in unimaginable ways. The countless hours of listening, reading, and self-talking had culminated in a genuine mastery of the English language. Her English journey, once a frustrating, seemingly insurmountable struggle, was now a resounding triumph. She had not only learned a language but had also discovered an inner resilience and determination she never knew she possessed. Lena's remarkable transformation made her an inspiration to countless others struggling with English. She shared her methods, encouraging them to embrace active learning and persistent practice. Her story resonated deeply with many. Her personal narrative serves as compelling proof that dedication, combined with a diverse array of integrated learning methods, truly yields profound fluency. Anyone can achieve their English language dreams with the right approach.